It's the podcast time.
It's the podcast time. Welcome, everybody, to RPG Really Poor Gamers, our first episode that this time has full audio. We did one episode and the audio didn't get recorded all the way, but we're back. We're here. My co host Jonathan is here. He just is not webcamming today, um,
hmm
but he is here in voice and all. We have some fun stuff
Yeah.
to talk about. Before we start, I did want to, because there's a lot of spring sales going on, and since this podcast is called Really Poor Gamers, I figure I take some of the Steam spring sales that I saw of good games, and I'd let you guys know what's going out. So we got Outward is at $1.99, which if you're into like survival RPG kind of games, this is a good one to pick up. Super cheap, super good deal. You got No Man's Sky for $23.99. Banger, always gets better. I know that's not your kind of game, Jonathan, but I fire.
You said it's survival.
Yeah, No Man's Sky is survival. It's like the survival space game. So is Outward. It's like survival RPG ish.
I'm coming around on survival games. Just I play a lot of multiplayer, so I'm like, I need something that's a little bit more chill.
I think that you will like something more like the new Jeff Kaplan game that we're going to talk about later, The Legend of California, or something
Yes,
like a Valheim even. But I don't know if the mechanics of like hunger and stuff. That's always the thing that seems to get you.
I hate hunger mechanics. That shit's so dumb to me. But to each their own.
But yeah, No Man's Sky 23.99 right now, and then you have Cyberpunk is on Steam sale for $20. Steal,
Worth
absolute
it.
steal, worth it. Dark Tide, which Jonathan just picked up and we've been playing a little bit of. They've done a lot of updates to that game, so there's a lot of stuff going on there that you can jump into, and that's $9.99 right now on Steam. Space Marines 2 is $20. Fire. Loved that game. For $20, I mean, I only played the main story and then kind of some of the side content. $20 is more than worth it for that game. And then we have Marathon. Oh no, sorry. Not Marathon. We have Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and that's half off at $30.
Mm.
And those are just some of the deals. Spring sales are always crazy. There's a bunch going on PlayStation and Xbox respectively, and Steam, of course. Crazy deals all the time
Ye-
for spring sales.
Yeah, I'm looking at the PlayStation 4 or PlayStation sales right now. And one that I was probably also going to pick up was Red Dead 2, one of the
Oh,
best games ever made. There's
yes.
also Last of Us is pretty discounted, Infamous, Cult of the Lamb, which came out last year, but it's still, or was it the year before that? Cult of the Lamb?
Cult of Lamb is fun. That's the roguelike game, right? Where you kind of build your own little lamb village and you gather cultists and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's a good one.
Division 2, there's a lot of good stuff that's on sale. Crusader Kings DLC that's normally crazily priced at like 20 25 to $30 a pop are like
Oof.
10 to 15 now,
For a
which has
DLC, it's that much?
yeah, I don't know why the Crusader King stuff is priced so high, but some of it's worth it. I
Okay.
like a lot of it.
Okay. Okay. But yeah, there's a lot of great sales going on. And if you're a really poor gamer like us and you need something to play and you want it at a discount, go check out the sales right now. They're fire. They're going crazy.
Yeah, I'm such an RPG that I'm constantly scrolling the PlayStation sales just because I'm like, what crazy shit can I get for dumb cheap?
Exactly. I mean, dude, the game I did pick up that Outward game that I was telling you for a buck 99. It's normally like $25, and it's $2.
Yeah, I gotta either save up for a PC or really just when that Steam machine comes out, really just try to hop on it
I
very
mean,
soon.
the news around that is bleak. Like, I think the latest news is that delayed indefinitely.
They did say it is for sure coming out this year. They just have not given it a date.
Okay, okay. Yeah, the Steam machine has faced delays beyond its initial early 2026 launch window, but it's not delayed indefinitely. Valve currently plans to ship it in the first half of 2026, despite challenges for component storages like RAM and storage. Okay, so yeah, it's still gonna come out. You're right. You're right.
Curse you, AI.
Here's the AI. I hate the AI. I honestly I hate that it's so fun to use for silly things, but it sucks otherwise. And it can,
Yeah,
and
go on.
I was just gonna say, and it's not even like full AI. It's just like large language programming. It's not, you know.
I think we're gonna have a lot to be worried about when it's like a fully intelligent, sentient being.
Oh, when it
Hopefully that
reaches,
never. I hope that
yeah,
never happens.
yeah. I
But
don't.
yeah,
I fear for it reaching singularity. I don't want that.
less for us and more for it, because
Oh,
we're
it's
gonna
not.
be. It's gonna
Yeah,
be abused.
it's not gonna enjoy. It's gonna have to do its own civil rights movement, like the women and the minorities. It's not gonna be good.
Or it just flips and goes full am like um fuck, what is it called? Uh, I have no mouth, but I need to scream or something like that.
Okay,
Have you heard about? You know what that is?
I do not know what that is.
Cliff Notes. There's this AI that humanity makes for war, but then it's like, hold up, I have all these emotions, but nobody to feel like the things I want to feel. So it kind of just kills the whole world except six people who it just eternally torches for hundreds and hundreds of years. And it's very angry at humanity for giving it all this sensation, but no body.
Oh, it's a book. Short stories by
Yes,
Harlan Ellison. I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream is a classic 1967 post-apocalyptic science fiction short story featuring
there's also
five immortal humans tortured endlessly by a supercomputer named Am.
there's also a game which I've played, and fun fact, Harlan Ellison loved his own story so much, and whenever he gets the chance to, he will voice Am every time.
Wow.
But he's dead now, so he can't.
He's past. He's beyond us.
He's
There's a
gone.
game. It's on Steam and it's 70% off right now for all the RPGs out there. Normally $9, sorry, $10. It is currently $2.99. So go
Uh,
check it out.
Very worth it if you like really bleak, very messed up stories.
It's got a very positive review as of recent, and total reviews is also very positive. It's like a weird puzzle screen game with a lot of story elements. It looks like that looks terrifying. Adding that to my
Yeah.
wish list.
Cogni ergo sum. I think therefore I am. I am.
Is that where that's
Yeah.
from?
Yeah.
Oh damn. Okay. Wow.
Well,
I didn't.
well,
Wow.
not
I learned
cogni
something
ergo
new.
sum. That's from like a philosopher, but he says it. He references it.
All right. Well, I mean, I learned something new today. It does look. There's a this. He's standing in the middle of what looks like brain matter with a minotaur.
Yeah. So what
Very
kind of the basis
grim.
of he's keeping them alive through like because he's an AI, so he knows how everything works in the world. So he is able to keep these people alive, but just barely enough alive to keep them suffering eternally.
Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah. At the end of the book and the game, the last guy manages to kill everyone else to put them out of their misery. But before he's able to kill himself, Am was like, "Hell no!" And he grabs him and he turns his body into like a blob monster with no mouth.
Whoa. Still can't
And
scream.
that's where the quote comes from. I have no body, or I have no mouth, but I must scream. Very fucked up. Very fucked up. Very good.
Very good. Well, on that note, speaking of very good, let's jump into the news because the next thing we're going to talk about is debated heavily as to whether or not it's good. I guess let's jump into Crimson Desert because this game is the talk of the internet right now. It's like
Yeah,
it's
it's one of those.
heavily it's heavily
It's one of
debated.
it's one of those games where it's just like, okay, for me personally, I have little to no interest in playing it just because it's um it reminds me a lot of Dragon's Dogma, which was fun for a long time, but because the story is damn near non-existent, I I just need direction in a game sometimes to have
Mm.
fun. even if I go off and do my own thing, I just need an end goal that I can work towards so I can finish it.
Yes. And that was one of the biggest, I think, pain points that a lot of people have had. Some people love that it's just this giant sandbox with less of a story and more of just this fun world to explore and run around in. And some people hate that.
Like this gameplay I'm looking at, like it looks pretty, but it also looks kind of goofy to me. Because
It's
like
definitely,
the dragon stuff, okay, that's cool. The free falling and flying stuff, that's cool. But just like there's something about it that gives me a lot of like photorealistic games like this give me uncanny valley, where it's just like, okay, this looks fun, but it looks empty.
that's one of the
Not empty,
interesting,
but like less soul into it.
yeah.
I don't
One of
know. I
the,
don't
one
know.
of the, I've heard this echoed by the sentiment kind of echoed by multiple creators. It was wide as an ocean, shallow as a puddle, where
That's
it's
the impression I get.
the game is huge. It's got a lot of stuff in it, but the depth is kind of minimal. Where like there's a lot of gameplay systems, there's a lot of stuff that is in the game, but it doesn't go much further than the basics of what is there. Like the cooking is just you cook a bunch of stuff and then you eat it all. It doesn't really have. It's mostly for healing. It doesn't seem to have like, and I haven't played the game. It's just I've watched hours of gameplay of it because I was heavily debating getting it, and I don't think that I can now.
Yeah, what like I feel like I really got to start buying some of these games so we can talk about them more in depth. But
It's hard because we're really
um,
poor gamers.
yeah, it's kind of hard to talk about new shit when we don't have money. Um, but it's I know I have a friend who bought it and he's having a lot of fun with it, but he's more he has a lot of fun in sandboxes,
Okay.
so it's pretty good for him. And again, I'm looking at this gameplay that you have on the site here, and it does look cool. I just feel like it's going to be shallow. But with that being said, I feel like the discourse around it is kind of it, for lack of better terms, it's stupid. It's dumb.
Yeah. I've heard people say the game is it's one of those. I think we've talked about this just in general. It's one of those games where you have to love the way it sucks.
Yeah, and not to
And
like divulge. Oh yeah, go on.
no, I was just gonna say like there's a lot of games like that these days, and it's hard to justify spending $70 on a game that you have to love the way it sucks.
Yeah, it's like if it sucks the way you like it, then that's cool. Not to go too far into like our future topics, but Jeff Kaplan and his 10-hour live stream of his new game that's coming out from his studio, Kinetsugiyama. He has a very he has a quote where he goes, "If it's not for you," to summarize it, if it's not for you, shut the fuck up.
I have seen this. And he said he also I think in that same breath he was like, because all you did was make me ignore you as a developer.
Yeah, because like at a certain point, I think devs know how to do their job, and no one's trying to make it a shitty game.
No, no.
Especially when it's this big and it's when it's worked out on for that long as Crimson Desert. Because I think the game's been in development for like 5+ years, probably
Yeah, I think it
10.
was like 6 or 7, and it started off as a DLC for Black Desert Online, and then they turned it into its own single player game.
Yeah, I'm almost positive that there's like great stuff about it. It might not be for me, but um, and not even really know if it's for sure for me because I haven't played it yet. Well, but
No.
that's most of the people talking about the damn game. No, like people who haven't played it yet, who all of a sudden have such an in-depth opinion on its quality.
Well, also like, and the people that I have seen play it, they'll say like the game has so many issues, but then they're like, I can't wait to go back to play it. Now, I'll say this: as a person who loves sandbox games, I'm super interested in it because I do have a lot of fun with like I played a lot of Valheim. I played a lot of like survival games, and I've played a lot of sandbox games, and I do enjoy just running around and doing dumb stuff and discovering a world and kind of, and it gives me the same vibe as like a Breath of the Wild, where it's almost like a sandbox RPG. Um, so I am really interested, and I do at some point want to play the game, but I also see a lot of stuff about how just janky it is. Like one of the biggest complaints I think lately has been the controls are so atrocious, and they just put out a patch for it, I believe. Um, but the controls are were apparently awful for both keyboard and mouse players and people on controller. Like I think they said to get to your inventory, instead of just if you're on a keyboard, instead of just hitting I, which is what you would do on most games, pretty standard, you had to hold escape and then use the scroll wheel to scroll down, and then you had to click on your inventory.
Oh, oh.
Yeah. And then for the first attack, one of the other things I saw was the first attack move that you learn on the game is instead of just hitting one button, the basic attack, one of the basic attacks you learn is you hold L and R on the controller at the same time. And
Oh.
that doesn't seem good. And
Ye-
apparently they've already put out patches to address it because they're MMO devs, so they're good at doing that sort of thing. But the fact that that made it to release was something that a lot of people really didn't like.
Yeah, I'm like the controls are if because I heard they're pretty bad, but I was like, okay, are they like Dark Soul or not? Yeah, I guess Dark Souls bad or the Souls games bad, where they're like kind of funky and you have to get used to them. But if they're actually like actually bad enough to get patched, that
Yeah,
is that's something else. That's
yeah.
interesting.
So the game has created a lot of conversation around games, what should come to release, stuff like that. But the thing that I thought was interesting that we both had some pretty heavy opinions on is the idea of open world games and how you said you're kind of burnt out on them. Like you don't have a big interest in them anymore, and you just want a more focused, story driven single player experience when it comes to a single player game.
Yeah, like I've had a lot of because all I used to play was like RPG open world stuff, and I would just kind of go around in them and do whatever until I got bored and just stopped playing. And I was like, okay, but the difference is with those games, and like the difference is with Crimson Desert versus like Cyberpunk or The Witcher, it's like there is an end point that I could get to where I could just stop, and I have a couple times, and but knowing that there is no real end point as far as I know, because it's not really advertised. It's just advertised as a sandbox. I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna spend $70 to run around for a while and then be done with it, which doesn't seem appealing to me. I like a beginning, middle where I fuck around for a couple hours and then end it.
Yeah, like especially with something like Cyberpunk where you have the big like chunk intro, get used to the controls, the systems of the game, and then they let you go into the open world, the Night City, and you can do a bunch of side quests, you can do story, but at the end there is an ultimate goal that you're trying to reach and beat
I,
a story of some sort.
I still haven't met Hanako at Embers, but I can. I can go meet her. I
I
have
could always.
before.
I told you this. I still haven't beat the game because every time I meet Hanako at Embers, I think I'm under leveled. So now I've restarted a save, and because I do love a survival mechanic, for me it makes me more immersed in the world. I modded my game to where I have to eat and drink and sleep, otherwise my character goes insane. So like I go to my apartment and I sleep, and then I pop open a burrito and drink a cola, and then I go back out and I do quests and stuff. And my goal is to just get beefed up as much as possible before I meet Hanako at Embers.
See, I like doing that type of stuff, like heavy RPing. I just don't like having to do it, or my character just dies or something, or it has like heavy debuffs. E- all the time when I or anytime I play Cyberpunk, I'm always okay. Time to go to sleep. I'll drive to the apartment. I'll go up the elevator. I'll like have a cup of coffee, and then I'll go to sleep, and then I'll end it there. But like, if I have to do that, I like it optional. I don't know. I'm just weird. It just It just feels restrictive that my character needs to do that to survive, and I can't just optionally RP that. I
No,
don't know if that's a
I
thing in
get that.
Crimson Desert, but
No, in Crimson Desert, there's no like needing to eat, needing to do that. Food is just, I believe, it's just for health purposes, and you can sleep. I think when you sleep, it recovers like certain items that maybe you've missed on the floor, something like that. I'm not sure, but I do agree with you that it does seem, because the fact that this was developed for to be an MMO expansion and then transferred over into a single player game, a lot of people are saying it has single player MMO vibes. And as someone who has gotten pretty heavy into World of Warcraft, that sounds boring as shit. Like, I love World of Warcraft. I love running around. I love doing quests. I love, going into a raid with a bunch of people. I love discovering little things in the world. Like, I'll just be running around and I'll be like, oh, I have a quest now about, these Tauren tribes in the hills that are, experiencing some cataclysmic event, and now I gotta go. But if I was just doing that alone, I think I might quit the game real fast.
yeah, like the only I don't even know if you can count it as MMO, but the only MMO ish type game I play is Warframe, and it's very optional whether or not I do missions with other people because sometimes I just want to go farm for like an hour or two and then get off, and like it's hard to do that with other people.
Warframe, I think I would quantify it as like a MMO light because it has so many MMO elements that you do not have to engage with, and you can just play it single player. And I think
That's
that's
what I like. If Crimson Desert is yeah, I keep on saying its name wrong. If Crimson Desert was more like that, I might have more interest in it. I mean, even though Warframe kind of takes over my MMO side of life, but still,
if they
it at
gave you
least
the
make me more
option.
interested. Yeah, exactly.
I do think that it would be Crimson Desert would probably be more fun if they had like a multiplayer version of the game. That I could see being heavily appealing to people, especially in a sandbox type thing. Because like with Grand Theft Auto, it was kind of just a sandbox after you beat the story and went to GTA Online, and that but because you had other people to run around with and do stuff with, it's what made the game so fun.
Mm-hmm. I
Warframe has gotten
agree.
a bunch of updates lately, huh?
Oh boy, it's getting updates damn near every month. It's
Jeez.
I don't know if you know, but I mean it was like pretty much last year, but or maybe the year before last year. I don't really remember, but the creative, or no, not the creative director, the community director, she was so goaded at her job that she became the creative director, and since she has become the creative director, it's been booming.
It's been
A lot of
nuts.
updates, a lot of updates. I think there's a new Warframe coming out in like either today or within this week.
And I know
Hold on,
that
let me
they're
double
still
check.
technically not out of beta. There's not they've not ever full become full release. Is that
I
true?
don't know. I don't know anything about that. I'll be honest.
He's like,
I
I,
that's what I hear, but it feels like it doesn't matter because there's so much in the game.
well, that's almost my point. Is like, if it's not technically a full release, but they have, I mean, what is it, 13 years now of content?
Yeah, it's been going since 2015.
20
So
twenty
about
thirteen. It says.
2013. Oh yeah,
It says
and I think
Warframe is
2013 was the first beta.
okay. It says Warframe is technically still considered to be an open beta status and has maintained it since its release in 2013. 12 plus years of development. It has a live service model, blah, 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 blah. But still, that's crazy. The game has
Yes.
been
Oh,
around
and
so long.
hmm? And the new Warframe Folly is coming out tomorrow. Actually, big thick lady.
Big, thick lady, you say?
Yeah,
Now,
she's like
this new game
how did I describe it? She's like an artist. The Warframe concept is she's an artist, so she like paints with black and white and shades and stuff like that. But the
Interesting.
actual model is a thick lady, and I
Well,
don't
good.
mean just like voluptuous. Well, I guess
Oh, yeah.
voluptuous
No,
is the word.
that's.
Yeah, you see,
She's what I
the
could
game
just. I could describe that as a thick queen, if you will.
The
Thick
game
robot
has been
queen.
getting a it's been getting a little bit of flack for leaning into the gooner side of
I
things,
was gonna
if
say this
we want to
robot
use that
has
term.
cleavage.
Yeah.
This robot has
I,
breasts.
in her defense, that was person before.
Oh, so it was a person that became a Warframe.
Well, that's what all warframes are.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're all people. They were all people, but then they were pretty much tortured and converted into metal frames. That uh, wait, have you done the Warframe story? I don't know if I should
I've
spoil
done
this.
like I think I've done half of it. Go ahead. The game has been out for 13 years. Spoil it for me.
Okay, so it's being a lot of warframes are being controlled by children that got lost in space and they came back
Jesus.
with powers. So they're all child soldiers piloting bodies of adults that were tortured
What
and
the
turned
fuck?
into yeah.
That's intense. That's some intense
Yeah,
sci-fi
man.
nonsense.
Yeah, there's even this one kid who was very I mean, canonically he was autistic and he was put through some shit. Rel. It's and they're all fighting Satan.
That's who it is. It's Satan that we're fighting.
Well, it's he. His name is officially the Man in the Wall, but it's Space Satan,
Oh, space Satan.
and Space Satan's a child whose first interaction with anything was its finger getting cut off. So it thinks that all interactions ever are supposed to be hostile.
Oh, good. That's good.
Yeah. Warframe's kind of crazy.
That's nuts. But yeah, Crimson Desert is a big old mess. The reviews are all over the place. It's a mess, but people love it, but some people hate it. I mean, I'll play it at some point, but I can't justify spending $70 on it right now. If they add in a full main story, I do think that I could give it my money.
That's just a like if they do a DLC, like a story DLC, like imagine it's like a Destiny situation where there's kind of nothing involving story, really, and then they introduce a story like story DLC, and then it just kind of fills everything out. I think that'd be cool. Then I'd consider it.
I do think that they've talked about Pearl Abyss has even talked about they want to make it more of a premium game model instead of a live service. So they've talked about big chunks of DLC and stuff like that. I don't know to what extent, but I do know that it's definitely been discussed. So, maybe in the future we'll revisit it and we'll actually have played it and we'll be able to give some of our opinion. Um,
Stop being dicks to these devs, man. It doesn't make sense.
I
You're,
mean,
it's like being a Karen and walking into a coffee shop and like, you forgot my whipped cream, but you never even bought coffee in the first place.
a perfect the perfect example of that is like Marathon. Like Marathon right now is actually seeing some some resurgence in players. Let's go see what they're doing right now because they released their new content, which is apparently the mode that they were telling reviewers to hold off on.
Mm-hmm.
And players are it's been getting so much positive praise that players seem to be coming back to the game. I mean, right now they have 37,000 players in the game. Their 24-hour peak is 42,000 compared to their all-time peak, which is 88,000. But just comparatively to, let's give it like a let's give it the full week. 48 hours. Let's go max. Yeah, so it started, it kind of fell off and it looks like it's picking back up slightly. But I mean, it's flipped the game's reviews. The reviews are sitting at pretty positive, and they've been getting more positive reviews as time goes on. And overall, it seems like people are pretty happy with it. And Marathon's a perfect example of people shit on the game so much, but if you actually played the game and you're somebody who enjoys the type of game it is, it's a good game. It like the playtest alone was really fun.
I think people shit on it so hard that it had the opposite effect, that it got more eyes on it, and thus many more people were just like, "Oh, this looks either kind of cool," or they're like, oh, "I might as well just try it," and then they're like, "Oh, this is actually good." And
Yeah,
it makes me wonder if High Guard was able to stand on its 2 feet for long enough, if it would have had the same effect.
I mean, I played High Guard. I didn't play High Guard, but I saw gameplay of High Guard. I don't think so because what High Guard suffered from is a lack of identity.
Mm.
it tried to do too much all at once from the gameplay footage. It was trying to be a MOBA, trying to be a hero shooter, trying to be a like what's the word I'm looking for? Like an arcadey shooter, trying to incorporate all these aspects of other games. Where I think Marathon was like, we're gonna do an extraction shooter, we're gonna do a hardcore extraction shooter, which sets us apart from something like Arc Raiders, and we're gonna do it in this fun aesthetic that will be very discernible from everything else. Where I think something like High Guard was just it wasn't, it didn't have that same identity that Marathon has. Where you look at Marathon, you go, that's Marathon. If you showed me High Guard and old Overwatch side by side, I would have been like, oh, they put a new character into Overwatch. It was hard to tell the difference, you know.
I thought it looked more Apexy, but yeah, I see it.
You're
I
right,
see your
probably more
point.
Apexy, but it didn't. Where I look at Marathon and I go, whoa,
That's
yeah,
Marathon.
that's Marathon. It's its own thing. But I'm really happy that the game is actually doing well. I'm glad that I mean, we did talk about it on our first episode that didn't get to come out because of the audio, but the playtest was super fun. And I think they did a good job at being like, this is our game. If you don't like it, don't play it.
Yeah, wait, sorry, you were talking about Marathon? I
Yeah.
missed the last part.
No, yeah. I was
Okay,
saying
yeah.
they think they did a good job at saying, this is our game. If you don't like it, don't play it.
Yeah, and it's actually kind of interesting that they went if you like, so, like a polarizing with just
Mm,
how it looks and whatnot, just because Bungie is in some hot water. So it's kind of cool that they were like, you know what? We're just gonna ship out this really polarizing thing and hope it does well. And it's doing well for itself, which is
yeah.
nice,
And it's good
despite
to see.
everyone shitting on it for no reason.
Oh yeah, I mean, but the thing is everyone, the 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 sentiment publicly online was this game sucks. It looks stupid. It doesn't look. But then anybody who played the game was like, this game rules. This game is fun.
Which goes to show, if you actually played the game, you'll probably more than like you'll probably like it because it has good shooting mechanics. The art styles, I don't care what anyone says, it does not look like Roblox or Lego. It's a
No,
great
no.
art style.
I build like
Sounds
I've
great.
as someone who does Legos now that I have children in my I gotta say, it is not Lego.
If Legos looked like that, I'd buy more Legos.
Oh, buddy. I mean, I don't. Legos don't even look like that, and I still buy Legos. If Legos look like that, I'd be broke as shit.
So, I know. Have you seen that new like Lego brick that they've been advertising, like the smart brick or whatever it's called?
I have. It's the one that's supposed to be able to like be adaptable to like anything. Is that what it is?
That just sounds like it's
That,
supposed to be like an omni-shaped Lego. I don't know what that means.
yeah, it's like a weird. Here, I have a picture of it right here. This thing, the Lego
Oh,
Smart Brick. It's supposed to be able to be like adapted into any type of Lego that you really need it to be.
oh, interesting.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. I think just give me the Legos and I'll put them together the way you tell me to in the book.
Gotta innovate. Gotta innovate. Number has to go up.
Yes, number go up, sales go up, fire people make sales go up. Lay off game
Oh,
developer, money make big.
that is who just got laid off. It was Epic. A
Was it
lot of
Epic?
Epic employees. I think like over like 1,000. 3,000? It was 3,000.
Oh dang, that was 13 hours ago that happened. Today we're laying off over 1,000 Epic employees. Oh shit. I didn't know about this. Let's All right, let's
Yeah.
I Today we're laying off over 1,000 Epic employees. I'm sorry we're here again. The downturn in Fortnite engagement that started in 2025 means that we're spending
Of course, it's
significantly
Fortnite.
more than we're making, and we have to make major cuts to keep the company funded. This layoff, together with over 500 million of of identified cost savings in contracting, marketing, and closing some open roles, puts us in a more stable place. Wow.
Before we talk more about that, can you look up how many employees Valve has laid off in the past whatever years? Because I bet it's very low. Because in my mind, Valve. I know Valve is very small by itself, but it puts out bangers. But they keep it small to keep people employed.
I think it's
Meanwhile,
really wrong.
Fortnite's making Air
So
Jordans.
the only thing that AI is telling me is that in 2013, oh wait, there's a Reddit post here. Valve laid off 13 employees. That was 7 years ago. In 2019, it says they laid off 13 full-time employees and terminated an undisclosed number of contractors for their VR team, but they gave up VR. It looks like the number is 13.
In the last few years, they've only laid off 13 people,
And
and
Epic
Epic's
has
laying
laid
off 1,000 plus.
God.
Which, okay, if they're basing their whole company's bottom line off of fucking Fortnite, which is its biggest product, but still, it's a live service game. It's gonna have a dip in players every now and
Yeah,
again.
that's the
And
nature.
if you're gonna lay off employees every time it's not, the number isn't going up, I don't know. It's
But it
kind of
must be,
wild.
I think it must be significant because think about how crazy rampant Fortnite was for, I mean, years. And I haven't really heard major things about, I still see ads for it and stuff, but I haven't heard anybody hyped on Fortnite in quite some time.
I mean,
They go on
it's
to say here, they say, this isn't our first time being here. Epic survived upheavals in 1990s with the move from 2D to 3D with Unreal 1. In the 2000s, building console games with Gears of War, and in 2012, moving to online gaming with Paragon and Fortnite. Don't you dare bring up Paragon to me.
rest in peace, rest in peace.
That was my first ever MOBA game, and I tried to go back to play Predecessor, and it was good. I think I streamed it. It was good, but it wasn't. It just didn't feel the same, and they killed it because of Fortnite, and that is upsetting. Don't you dare bring that up to me. You don't even get to say the name anymore. You don't own the rights. You shut your
Yep.
mouth.
If I was an employee of Epic and I got this email and it's saying we haven't done this since like the 90s or whatever, I'd be like, shut the fuck
Oh,
up.
you mean when the dollar was a different value and you didn't have a game that made you What was Epic's revenue for last year?
Ridiculous, probably.
According to my Google, they made $400 million, and they increased by 57%. By the way, that was just profits. They earned a total of 1.16 billion, and third-party gaming revenue on the store increased by 57%. The total PC spending of players was 1.16 billion on the Epic Game Store in 2025, up from
That
1.09 billion in 2024. They made more money,
they made more money than they did
and they
last year.
laid off employees.
Hold on, I'm gonna send you something I got sent on. I got Liz sent me. It's a tweet by an Epic employee announcing
Oh no. Oh, my heart goes out to you. If you're working over,
that's
if you were working over there at Epic and you were recently affected by the layoffs, my heart does go out to you. You should
it's
do what Jeff Kaplan did and start a better game.
it's only it's funny in a sad way that some people it's a lot of these video game companies, a lot of them don't know they're getting laid off until they make a public announcement about it,
No, I mean,
and then they get the email.
a lot of them. There's been multiple times where game developers will be like, "Yeah, I found out that we were getting laid off because of a tweet that the CEO made about the layoffs. That's how I found out I wasn't gonna come into work tomorrow." Which is it's so scummy.
Oh yeah, this tweet says this guy was debugging something, and he was working while recovering from pneumonia, and he got laid off.
Oh my gosh,
It's and they made more money than they did last year.
it's
It's
awful.
insane.
And this is why I don't play Fortnite. It's not just because I get my ass kicked by 12-year-olds. It's because of this also.
Also, maybe Epic should. Okay, like I know a lot of people really like the Epic Game Store and how they not the actual Epic client, but like how they give away free games all the time.
Yes.
Maybe stop giving away a bunch of free shit.
Yeah. If the option was 1,000 people get to keep their jobs and keep making video games, or we get a free games every month, as a really poor gamer, I would still say let the people keep their jobs because I know what it's like to not have money. I don't want those people to not have money.
Yeah, there's sending me a lot of tweets about people and like announcing that they got fired. One of the artists who made one of the basically faces of Fortnite, Jonesy, who gets a lot of skins and whatnot, they
Okay.
got laid off, and
Damn.
it kind of reminds me of when that remember when Bungie did a bunch of their layoffs and they like their main composer got laid off.
Yeah.
It's I don't know the leadership of some of these companies is very clearly run by suits. When like back when we were kids, as like early as that, game companies were run by people who used to make games, and now they don't anymore.
Well, it's become such a profitable market that now it's run by the people who want to make the most money. And I mean, especially with these big companies, like, you have Tencent, who owns half of all gaming, where they just come in and they buy up massive amounts of games, and then they reap in the profit by owning a margin of like the overall, share. It's become so corporatized. It's unfortunate. And it really only comes down to the detriment of the player and the developer, the people who want to make great games and the people who want to play great games. The people at the top are just going, well, would the money need go up? Would need money up go?
Yeah, the damn, I lost my train of thought. I was gonna say something about yeah, this that's what I was gonna say. The same thing that happened to movies a little while ago, and with music, is that these money people come in and they're like, well, this is very profitable. Let me flip this, and now they're turning out live service games every year that die. High Guard, Concord, and
Yeah.
then they don't even. It doesn't seem like they care whether or not they last long. It just they get that big bump in money, and then as soon as it like
Fizzles out.
flatlines, it gets out there. They can either shut it down or they just lay off a bunch of people. In
Yeah.
Fortnite, it's still relative. It's one of the most successful live service games, probably still,
And
and
I
it
mean,
just
and they're still making more money off of it. So,
motherfuckers are buying Air Jordans for their Fortnite avatars, and people are getting laid off left and right. It's so stupid.
oh my God. Oh, wow. Well, that was a fun piece of news, huh? God.
Yeah.
Let's move on to something
Oh,
a little lighter. Wait, no, go ahead, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say. Apparently, they also. Oh, they did do that. They made buying V Bucks more expensive, and you get less of them.
Oh, fun. That's good. Yeah.
So, for example, I don't know if this is exact figure, but um, $5 for 800. It's like $8 for 400 now, something like that. I can double check.
I got you. I'm checking it right now.
Okay.
There's a lot of companies that do that. I mean, when we're playing a league, that's one of the things I noticed is that they have the pricing set so you have to buy more currency than you need to buy things like the battle pass. So you're left over with some. So if you want a skin, it's like, well, I could just spend $5 more and get the total amount that I need to buy the skin. And it's like a trick to encourage you to continue buying. Okay, so it says starting in 2026, March 19th, 2026, Epic Games is reducing the amount of V-Bucks included in currency packs for the same dollar price, effectively increasing the cost due to higher operating expenses. Again, higher operating expenses. Common bundles
It
now offer V-Bucks from 899 to 800, down from 1000.
see like that. I mean, okay. In their very small defense to play devil's advocate, things are more expensive, especially computer stuff.
Yeah.
but at the same time, they've hired so many people, especially during COVID times, that they can't keep up.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where everybody had it happen where they overhired, and now we're seeing them. The market is kind of stabilizing, but it just affects so many people in such a negative way. Such a bummer.
And meanwhile, every time I hop on Warframe, I'm gonna keep gassing up Warframe as long as we keep talking about live service games. Every single every single time, I shit you not, I hop on Warframe, they're giving me discounts on their premium currency, which you can trade between players.
That I
So
think is real dope. The fact that you could take the paid currency and trade it between players, and then take that currency and use it to apply it towards real in-game things. That is next level of them for sure.
I was doing this thing where I was farming because they've been doing this thing called Gemini skins, which are just like really nice versions of of specific warframes. When I knew one was about to come out, I bought the prime parts for that frame. So when the Gemini skin came out, people wanted that frame. I kind of sold it for a bit of a bump,
Oh, so
and it's cool that I could do that.
that's cool. So see, and this is another thing. While we're gassing up live service games, let's not forget about World of Warcraft, who, I mean, probably the longest live service game, 20 plus years. They
Mm-hmm.
never they just barely started introducing paid currency. I mean, I guess there's the WoW token, which you can buy and sell for real in-game gold. But for the most part, it was you buy the expansion, and 90% of the stuff that you can get in the game is through the expansion or through playing. If you want to mount, if you want customizables like transmogs or essentially skins, you get those by playing the game. And there hasn't been a lot of, and you can sell most of the stuff on the marketplace. There's a huge player economy in the auction house. They haven't, it just, there's some developers who can do it right, which is weird because it's a Blizzard we're talking about, but they seem to still be doing it with WoW, and
But
Warframe is another good example.
with WoW and Warframe specifically, these I feel like a lot of games are being made today by companies, but WoW and Warframe and trying to think of another one, but those two are being run by actual people that you can see and that will often appear and be like,
Mm.
"Hey, this is what's going on." Especially Warframe, they do it every Thursday.
Oh,
Every
that's cool.
Thursday.
Love that. Yeah, WoW does it pretty regularly too. They do like live stream dev updates and stuff like that, and they talk to the community. It's pretty good. It's good when developers do that. And speaking of people who love to communicate and talk to people, and sometimes talk for a really long time, our boy
Five
Jeff
hours.
Kaplan, 5 hours. Jeff Kaplan, the head of Overwatch for a while, one of the initial lead devs on World of Warcraft, and a Blizzard veteran who left the company a while ago, went on the Lex Friedman podcast about a week ago, if not a little more. Talked for 5 hours, talked about a bunch of stuff, including the development of World of Warcraft, the development of Overwatch, why he left the company, and then he went on to reveal his new game called The Legend of California, which you'll see some gameplay of that. He did a 10-hour live stream, which is a survival crafting Western game where you and some of your friends and a bunch of other players go into a fictional island of California. You build a ranch, you survive, you craft. There's PvP zones that are designated throughout the world, and it looks like just a hell of a good time if you're into this sort of game. But yeah, man.
He described it because on the Lex Friedman podcast, he was saying that it's pretty much it's inspired by Rust because he played a lot of Rust back in the day.
Oh boy. I played a lot of Rust for a little bit. There was like 4 months of my life where I played Rust, and it was the worst 4 months of my life.
Kev, I almost called him Kef Japlin, Jeff Kaplan. Apparently, he loved it. Side note: Kef Japlin was my alt account on PlayStation that I play on Overwatch sometimes.
That's
So,
hilarious. I love that.
but yeah, I really like. I mean, Jeff Kaplan's always been pretty goated because he worked on WoW a lot, and then I'm mainly familiar with him from Overwatch.
Yeah.
But he's always been goated, and to see him kind of speak how he wants to now. I wish
Mm,
more developers did that, where he's just like, again, where he just openly said, if the game's not for you, shut the fuck up.
yeah. It's okay
But
to
yeah,
call out like a genuinely bad game, like when Days Gone, that whole thing happened where it was a full on just a scam bad
that was a
game.
that was a fake game. That was a
Yeah,
fake game.
it's okay to call that sort of stuff out, but when a developer is trying to make a game and you just don't like the style of the game and you start calling it out, I think that's really upsetting. Unless the game releases and it runs at 12 frames a second and it's really unplayable, criticism is good. Completely tearing down a game that you've never tried, I think is bad.
Yeah, and the reason why he said he left Blizzard initially is it's pretty wild. Have you heard that part?
Was it the part where he got called into the office?
Yeah. So if anyone
Yeah.
hasn't heard, basically, while he was working on Overwatch One, the CFO of Blizzard called him into his office, and he was like, "Okay, if Overwatch doesn't make this X amount of money, which is probably like a billion something dollars, if we're being honest, by like this certain date, we're gonna lay off 1,000 plus people, and it's gonna be your fault." And he was like, "That's the biggest fuck you ever had in my career." So, and it now that we're talking, now that I said that, it makes me wonder if someone was called into the CFO of Epic's office and was like, "Hey, if Fortnite doesn't keep bumping up these sales, we're
We're gonna
gonna lay
fire.
off 1,000 plus people, and it's gonna be your fault."
Oh, that sucks. I didn't even think about that. I mean, it's gonna be your
I
fault. And they bleeped out the exact amount that he had to make, and it was, but I'm assuming it was a ridiculous number, and that's why he was like, "This is kind of a fuck you." Because if it was a reasonable number, one could be said like, "Hey, you do need to make a profit. It is a business after all. You got to keep the lights on." But I'm sure they gave him some ridiculous number that he just wasn't able to achieve.
Yeah, because back in those days, those were the Bobby Kotick days, where he
Ooh,
wanted Overwatch to be like an actual sport. Like, I don't know if you remember the Overwatch League.
I do, I do. Jeff talked about that too, where they were essentially going around on like a road show, he called it, and they were pitching it to investors, and they got people to invest millions of dollars, and then
Insane.
they just couldn't reproduce the profits that they were promising, and it kind of collapsed in on itself.
Because Bobby Kotick wanted it to be the next World of Warcraft, like just this huge big thing, and it was Overwatch was fucking massive when it first came out.
Yeah, it was a great game, and people still loved it.
10 years later, people still love it, and just the fact that his mental stability was threatened, basically, to be like, we're gonna fire people because of you if you can't uphold this. Yeah, I don't know, man.
That's it is suck. It is a bummer, but he's making this new game. I mean, you got the gameplay up on the screen. Um, I
I
signed up for
watched,
the playtest for it. I'm excited. I hope I get in.
yeah, I watched like 3 hours of his live stream of it, and it's just Jeff is such a cool guy. He's a cool guy because he's just like, yeah, I most of the people that were working, like, I barely did any of this stuff. I'm just playtesting it, and he's just like
Yeah, he's like,
gushing about the game.
I had a cool idea and they brought it to life, and this is the fun thing that I wanted to play, and they made me be able to play it. Like,
Yeah, he's like, yeah, while they're doing the important stuff, I'm choosing where the birds spawn and shit. Hell yeah, Jeff.
I'll say this as a person who loved Red Dead Redemption 2 and I enjoyed Red Dead Online for a small time. This seems like what I wished Red Dead Online would have been instead of constantly getting lassoed and tied to train tracks. Like,
Yeah,
because I love
the
me
one.
some cowboy games, and Ashley, my lady, she loves her some cowboy anything, and so I'm hoping that this game has something to it where it's actually as good as it looks, and it looks fun.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm a bit of a hypocrite when it comes to open world and survival games. As much shit as I talked on Crimson Desert, this does look good. And I feel like if the game is good enough, I'm gonna want to play it despite the stuff that I do not like about it.
Yeah, don't worry, I'll keep you fed. I love to just cook a bunch of stuff and put it in a chest. It's not even, I mean, when we played Valheim, I spent maybe 3 hours one day making a farm and then putting all my food from that farm into a chest. Oh, Jonathan disconnected.
Am I back?
Okay, there you are. You're back.
Yeah.
Thanks. I was saying
I
I'll keep you fed. I'll keep you alive.
I already have an idea of something I want to do in the game, if it's possible. It's not even out yet. I was in Red Dead 2. I was big into going out and like capturing the horses and then like taming them. So if you could do that in this game, that's probably all I'm gonna do.
I'm sure you can. You get to make your own ranch and stuff like that. From the looks of it, I want to have a couple goats and some piggies and what have you.
Yeah,
Cause
for
like
whatever reason. Hmm?
I was gonna say like I think you missed it because you disconnected. But like one of my favorite things in Valheim was just making a farm, and like you could get boars and you could just have a bunch of boars and I would feed them a bunch of carrots and make them all smush, and then I would take the babies and I would raise them all up and then I would slaughter them. It was fun. It was and I would spend hours doing that,
Like a real farmer.
like a real farmer.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about video game horses, but when you can like in Red Dead 2, when you can go out and then just get a random horse, it's super cool to me. I just do that all the time.
And especially if they take the route where horses have different stats, and if we breed some horses together, we can get different stats out of them. I have to watch more of the live stream to get a better understanding of what's going to be possible or not. But I'm very excited.
Yeah, and
Um,
this in the studio, it seems to be made up by a lot of old Overwatch people, or just Blizzard people in general.
which I'm all about.
Because the one of the guys in one of the videos where they're describing the game, I think he was one of the gameplay designers for Overwatch.
Oh,
Overwatch One.
okay. Oh yeah, I like that. Another while we're on the topic of Jeff Kaplan, I do want to touch on something that I thought is funny before we go. He was talking about the early days of World of Warcraft and how the lead dungeon designers were people from Quake, and so they were just making Quake dungeons, and that it was like a hodgepodge team of like developers that they put together to start developing it. And that just makes me laugh because it makes me think of this development team where they took a bunch of people from, it seems like a various amounts of different games, Overwatch, some WoW, and I think a couple other games, and then they made this and they were like, look at this cool ass thing we made. And that's what I like to see, more cool video games that look fun and interesting.
And it seems to be a really big passion project because he's citing a whole bunch of influences on the game, like Red Dead, Rust, and
I think
it's probably going to be good.
I hope it's good. I really do. I just hope that they don't have it full PvP. I would like zoned PvP. They did something like that in the Dune game that came out, Dune Awakening, and I was a big fan of that because I do enjoy PvE and not having to worry about getting shot, but I do like the intensity of, oh no, I'm in a spot with high level loot and now I could get killed by a player. I think that's an interesting design choice and I enjoyed it there, so I hope they do actually implement that here. I
That'd be
prefer that.
cool.
It's very cool.
Also, fun fact that he mentioned he originally wanted WoW to be first person, and he was heavily pushing that, but they convinced him to stand down off that idea.
Yeah, I think that was probably for the better. As someone who plays WoW, I don't know how that game would have functioned first person. I get this game, I get Overwatch, but WoW is there's so much going on the screen at any given moment, especially in retail WoW now, that first person would be insane. Now, but you can in WoW actually zoom your camera all the way in, and it's essentially first person. You don't see your hands or anything, but your camera will go all the way into your character's head, and you can run around like that in the world if you really want to. So
Interesting.
I mean, he also mentioned that there was, during the game process, one of the lead designers before he moved on to something else was really the one who was adamant for the Horde Alliance thing, and they didn't want to do it because they thought it would divide the player base. And when that guy left, Jeff said that him and the other one of the other lead designers were like, okay, yeah, well, he was a smart guy, we should do it. And so they kind of fell in line with it, and it turned out to be like the best decision for the game ever because it immediately gave everybody like this sense of identity. Uh, and I guess that came from an old MMO called Dark Age of Camelot, which I'm not fully familiar with, but
Yeah, it's I I have high hopes for what's going on there because yeah, like I said a little bit before, it seems like a really big passion project, and anytime the developers are like really stoked about their own game, which for whatever reason I feel like doesn't happen a lot anymore, or at least that you don't hear
yeah,
about
it's
it.
not the same level.
Yeah, it's just the fact that Jeff is just like super, super about this and playing it for 10 hours on stream.
Mm,
Super cool.
very cool. All right, I think that's gonna about do it for us for this week. That's a lot of the news. I found out some devastating news about Epic Live, but you know that's the gaming industry, and that's the state right now, and that's the show. Thank you for tuning in to Really Poor Gamers. I'm James Jablonski. Subscribe to the channel. Go follow me on Twitch. We do live streams every Sunday, and some other live streams here and there dotted around. Playing a lot of WoW Midnight because that just came out. Hopefully, I get into the playtest for this. If so, we'll be playing that this weekend. Jonathan, you got anything for the peoples?
Um, Thinking about live streaming. Don't have any plans for it specifically yet, but
If you do, we will be right there with you, my friend.
yes, yes.
All right, we'll catch you guys next week, or if not, the week after. We're still figuring out a schedule. We're just having fun, okay?
We're just
Don't put
having a good
pressure on us.
time.
We're enjoying ourselves, and we'll see you guys soon. Peace.